Well, hello, my baby gorillas, and thank you very much for tuning in. This one's a bit trippy, this one. Woohoo! Thought this would be quite good. It'll come in quite handy when I'm explaining things. I'll try and look directly at the camera, not to get too excited just now. So, what's been happening in politics? It is just getting more and more fun by the day. You couldn't actually believe what's happening just now. So, as I already told you guys, said to you that we are now getting to a stage where Mrs. May is going to resign, or they're going to try and force her to resign. This is not going to potentially happen. Mrs. May is actually secure until December, until another election for her candidacy, or another person can put forward, if she got another 40 odd signed letters, to actually have another leadership challenge. But to be honest, Mrs. May is actually quite secure just now, which is quite an incredible thing considering how bad she's actually been. However, there has now been 70 candidates. I think I might take this off. 70 candidates. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to do that. 70 candidates, or 70 Conservative associations that are actually now saying that. Don't know if that's coming off yet. It's starting to get a wee bit trippy. Even I'm thinking it's a bit trippy. Let me go back. There we go. Here we go. So, 70 candidates now actually, or 70 Conservative associations saying that they want Theresa May to actually resign. Oh, so what can actually happen? There's Nigel Evans, the Conservative MP, rather good MP, saying that the 1922 committee are now putting motions forward for Theresa May to actually resign. It's all in the Business Insider. They're really unhappy about the actual changes or the facts. So what have they got? Conservative MPs meet to discuss removing Theresa May within days. So just like what happened with Margaret Thatcher, the MPs are going to go to her actual room and say, Prime Minister, it's time you went. We've actually had enough. May's opponents want party rules to be changed to allow vote of no confidence in their leadership, so the 1922 committee will now be able to do a change of rules and have a second vote. Not to say that she might not win the second vote. Even if Boris Johnson was put in place, and he's the leading candidate just now, he's the big beast in the jungle, I don't know if he's got enough support within the parliamentary party. Boris has got to get to the last two before they get put forward to the membership. Now, while the membership and even the Conservative associations may support Boris Johnson, the actual parliamentary party and the arithmetic within the parliamentary party might not see Boris Johnson getting to the last two in the actual Conservative race because of all the Remainers that have been put into Brexit seats by central office. So they have gerrymandered the Conservative Party so that it's full of Remainers, the Parliamentary Conservative Party, so it's full of Remainers who may not want Boris Johnson getting in to the last two to then go in front of the rank and file of the Conservative Party, who would be a lot more supportive of Boris becoming Prime Minister. Also, the Scottish Conservatives, because the Scottish Conservatives are predominantly full of cucks, that these people will actually now vote, what might actually split away from the rest of the Conservative Party. I think this is a threat that's not going to be carried through. I don't think they will do that, but it's certainly a threat deliberately designed, probably from Ruth Davison, because she's a Remoaner herself, chief Remoaner up there in the Scottish Conservative Party, another globalist cuck. That she will probably try and put her oar in the works. And also the fact is that she is that Ruth Davison could potentially also run for leadership because she's quite well thought of, although she's just another Remainer. So, more than 70 local Conservative associations signed petitions against May's leadership. Oh my goodness, that's unbelievable. 70 local Conservative associations. Oh, she's absolutely despised, the woman. The leadership of the 1920, this is from the Business Insider, leadership of the 1922 committee, which represents all backbenchers, MPs, will meet to decide whether a change in party leadership rules to allow a vote of confidence in her leadership before the summer recesses. But even if that means the election for the EU is in late May, I think it's May the 23rd, 29th or something like that, she's going to be still there as the party chairman or the leader of the Conservative Party until after the European elections. So it means that they're going to still get decimated by UKIP and the Brexit Party. So I spoke because obviously I like to keep my baby gorillas abreast of what is the actual rules for the EU election, which you definitely should go out and vote for. The actual MEPs have very little power within. They can only say yes and no to the legislation that's dictated to by the European commissioners. So the European commissioners, who are unelected, dictate what our legislation is that permeates down through the EU and into the member states, including Britain. And so the only power the MEPs have got of saying yes and no to the legislation, and sometimes it goes back and they rethink it, but it's very little power. But what it does give is a platform to espouse certain ideas, and that is ideas against a transnational, unelected European superstate, which is probably completely the correct thing to do. So it's very important, even though you may not want to, go out and vote for a Brexit party. If you're part of the 17.4 million people who voted for Brexit, you have to go out and vote. Go and vote for UKIP, go and vote for the Brexit Party, whatever you choose. Now, in the actual election for the EU, it's a first, you only get one X on the actual paper. Go and register to vote, go and get yourself registered to actually vote. You only put an X, so it would either be the Brexit Party or UKIP. I'll be voting for probably UKIP in Scotland, I would think, and because of it a longer period. So I would be voting for UKIP in Scotland. So you would put UKIP. Now, it gets divvied up, so it's a bit of a convoluted sort of process for how it's actually selected thereon after. But I wouldn't worry about the process. Just all you need to do is put your X beside a Brexit Party. And the Brexit parties are only UKIP and the Brexit Party. For Britain, I don't know if they're running candidates, it's £5,000 per candidate. So what that does is that through financial costs, unless you're contributing to a political party, it narrows down the opportunity to have a diversity in candidates. So go out and vote. Go and vote for Nigel Farage's party or Jerry Baton's UKIP. Whatever you choose, go and vote for them. But I think for the fact that the 17.4 million people have been ignored, and even if you're a Remainer and you believe in democracy, I would definitely go out and vote for the 17.4, if I was part of the 17.4 million, or even a Remainer who believes in democracy, I'd be voting for the Brexit Party or UKIP. So, Boris Johnson's sister, his little sister or his older sister, I'm not quite sure, has now joined the Cuck Party. And I'll go into what that Diddy cheeky brother was saying down on Channel 4 News. I mean, obviously, Channel 4 News is obviously just the basic mouthpiece for the Cuckold Party. So, obviously, all us up in the north can be easily ignored from these wallopers down in London. So, Boris Johnson's sister has now joined Chuki and Chuki brother and Anna Soubry, who is the alleged Nazi that is now in the Cuckold Party. And it's very clever that both the left, both Boris in the Conservative Party and now his sister in the Remain Party, obviously hedging the bets, the Johnson family, not the first family to play both sides of the political divide. As we have seen by Jacob Rees-Mogg's sister in the Brexit Party, he's in the Conservatives. So it's not the first time that this sort of strategy, political strategy, has been done from a family. And good to cover your political bets. So she's now joined Chuki. So I'm going to actually just play what Chuki says. I'm going to interpret from a political point of view, because obviously what they tell you and what they actually mean are two completely different things. So I'm going to interpret what Chuki has said on his Channel 4. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this. If I was more technologically advanced, I would be able to edit this and actually put it up for you. But I'm just going to interpret it just now, because obviously, oh, there's Chuki there. What a jeez. Anyway, so here we go. Let me just get this.
And you believe the UK is, if you, like us, love your country.
So Chuki's just said, if you, like us, love your country and believe in the UK, while at the same time he wants to join an undemocratic EU and has completely ignored the champagne socialist that he is, completely ignored the will of the referendum and the 17.4 million people. It shouldn't be called Change UK, it should be called Stay the Same UK. So basically a political lie there. He's more interested in probably his long-term political maceration, shall we say.
I believe the UK is a kind-hearted place, generous in spirit.
So he said, is a kind-hearted place, generous in spirit, where I've done rather well as an immigrant, and I'm not really bothered about whether the people who are from here are not doing very well.
And should be open to new ideas.
So we should continue to have open borders. He said, be open to new ideas and people from different backgrounds. We should continue with our open borders policy that the 17.4 million people wanted to vote against.
Different backgrounds, creeds, colours and religions.
Creeds, colours and religions, if you're proud of your history. Well, to be honest with you, we didn't have many creeds, colours or religions. We had a very limited amount of immigration until the political class decided over the last 40 years to have basically open borders, which has basically ethnically cleansed the indigenous population from large parts of their own country.
You are proud of our history, but also determined to embrace the future.
So but also determined to embrace the future and transform. If you're quite happy with us continuing to have mass immigration, and if you're quite happy to be displaced, I know as Chuki Amunya, it's not going to affect me.
Transform the UK into a place where all our citizens get to enjoy the benefits of modern Britain.
Transform benefits of modern Britain so that all our citizens, especially people who have emigrated here, are able to replace the people who are already here. That's basically what he's saying.
If you believe absolutely key to achieving these things is working at an international...
If you believe key at achieving these things is working on an international level, signing us up to the Barcelona process, the Union of the Mediterranean, and now the UN Compact, where we basically have de facto open borders.
National level, through the EU and other international partners.
Through the EU and other international borders, keeping our, so I don't know what the next part is, but through our international partners to move towards a one world totalitarian political government.
Keeping our seat at the top table.
Keeping our seat at the top table, so basically staying in the undemocratic EU. Then sign up as a supporter.
And sign up as a supporter and campaign for us in these Europe.
So Chuki's saying that so that we can actually keep our political seats, sign up to the Cook Party, so that we will actually keep in the same mass immigration, open borders, and ignoring the democratic will of the British people.
European elections. We believe, yes, we have got to bring our country.
We believe that we've got to bring our country together. What they actually mean is, we believe that we can ignore the democratic referendum and just carry on as if nothing has happened.
Together, and that requires fundamentally changing our broken politics.
That requires fundamentally changing our broken politics. That means that we think we should continue exactly the same as has gone on before, and while I am in power, I should continue as a champagne socialist to actually continue enjoying the lifestyle I've become accustomed to.
But we won't change our country by othering people of different.
We won't change our country by othering people of different nationalities, races, and dividing our country into them and us, because we've already decided that we believe in mass immigration, and if you complain about that, then you're dividing us. It's not the fact that we've already decided and signed you up to processes that have never been debated. We are just going to continue doing the same thing as we have done before and continue with this.
Races and dividing our UK into them and us, London against the rest of the country.
London against the rest of the country and so on. London has basically decided that the rest of the country can go to hell. We understand that the rest of the country voted to come out of the EU, but London's decided that we should actually stay in the EU. And we don't care if you've had a vote or not.
And so on. We won't change our country by indulging the lie that Brexit was.
We won't indulge our country let me just get that again. We won't change our country by indulging the lie that Brexit will solve the NHS funding crisis at the same time that those told those lies promoting privatisation of the NHS. That is the most front-aboutery I've ever seen. I voted to come out of the EU because I knew that the EU was an undemocratic institution and there was no accountability. Nothing to do with the NHS. Did not care two hoots about the NHS when I was voting for Brexit. The £350 million that Boris put up, Boris obviously and Conservatives put up on the side of the bus, I don't know what the point of that was. It would have been better for me if he put £350 million a week into start-up businesses, stage one finance for start-up businesses, because that would have generated more cash, which then could have gone into the NHS. The NHS does not increase our growth. It may be secondary by being able to heal people, but it does not increase our growth. What we want to do is increase our growth and thereby give money to stage one start-up businesses. But this is whataboutery by Chucky. Chucky's a clever guy, he's a lawyer, but I mean it's just political whataboutery. So we won't change the country by radical action taken to reduce climate change. So we want to basically steal more of your money through taxation and we'll spend it on whatever we want. If they wanted to improve the climate and if it was for CO2 emissions, I would suggest that we plant more trees and thereby the absorption of the CO2 and production of oxygen from the CO2. Somebody's talking about terraforming the Sahara Desert and also the Australian outback using salination tanks and getting seawater and putting it through and being able to grow trees in the desert in the Africa and Australia, which we could dramatically reduce the amount of CO2 in the air. So, I mean, but what they want to do is basically put in more taxation to basically steal our money.
To reduce climate change, and we certainly won't change our country by leaving the world single.
So we certainly won't, what was that again? Let me just go back to that. We certainly won't change our country by leaving the world's biggest single market. So we would just offer them zero tariff, a zero tariff deal that would benefit both of the UK, and we'd be able to set our own rules. I think that would be much preferable than anything that Chucky's offering here.
Single biggest market. So let me tell you this, there will be absolutely no fence sitting.
Absolutely no fence setting. The cuckle party, the cucks, are the biggest fence sitters in the world. These are authoritarian liberals who are basically not interested in what the common man or woman thinks. They're just interested in what they think they know best. And a lot of it's to do with just taking money through taxation.
No ambiguity on any of these issues by this Change UK.
So basically the Change UK are really very boring anyway. So, I mean, a very boring party and with a very boring bunch of people behind it. It's really, and obviously undemocratic, want to stay in an undemocratic EU, want to use mass immigration to displace you and yours. And they think that's all fine, it's not affecting them, it's all working for me, I'm quite happy, and not caring about the rest of the individuals. Oh, Lord Adonis on LBC was saying that he's basically said to the people in the north of England that doesn't matter, we are not a Brexit party. We are the wrong party for you in the north of England and the Midlands to vote for. If you voted Labour and voted Brexit, we don't care. I'll put that in the description. We're not interested in your vote anymore. We're a London-based party who are pro staying in the EU. We're not pro-Brexit. So what the people in the north of England are going to have to come to the realisation is, are you going to continue to vote Labour knowing that they're effectively a Remain party? Or are you going to actually vote for a UKIP or a Brexit party? For the Brexit party, UKIP or the Brexit party? This is what you're going to have to come to the realisation. Lord Adonis has basically spelled out the unelected peer, which we should definitely be making the House of Lords elected now. It's gone beyond a joke. People actually are now saying, well, the House of Lords isn't elected, but the House of Lords doesn't set the legislation. They're a secondary chamber, just like the elected EU is a secondary chamber against the unelected commissioners who are dictating the legislation. It would be the equivalent of the unelected House of Lords doing the legislation, and the elected House of Commons actually being the second chamber. Oh, so, I mean, it's just absolutely disgusting, but it's about time we just get rid of the Lords and got people in who were elected. All these people falling asleep, getting £350 a day for actually attending the House of Lords. Out they go, they get rid of the hereditary peers, they might as well all just leave and we can get a proportionally representative second chamber, elected second chamber in the House of Lords, and people can work for their money. So, I think this is fascinating. So old Jeremy Steptoe Corbyn, the horrible wee rat that he is now saying that the SAS, the brave, I've got friends who are special forces, I was in the Royal Marine Reserves, I tried to go in as an officer to the Marines and the Paras, and wee ratty Corbyn, who I don't think even mentioned the Sri Lankan bombing with killing hundreds of people in Sri Lanka, obviously poor Christians. Again, the Nigerians, Muslims massacred Nigerians, Christians. I don't know if that's Christianophobia or Christianophobic. I don't know what the latest buzzword is for that. But the massacre of hundreds of people in Sri Lanka, Jeremy Corbyn completely ignored. Obviously, it's not politically expedient for him to comment on anymore because he's already cucked himself out, the Marxist swine that he is. So, he's now calling our brave men, predominantly men, I'm not sure if there's many women in the Special Forces, I'm sure there probably is a few, the SAS lawless, some of our greatest fighters and protectors of our civilization. Lawless. I mean, honestly, what an absolute wee scumbag he is. I'm sure that wee rat has never been in military conflict or never had to give up anything of his person to actually defend our freedoms and our rights. Oh, absolutely disgusting, absolutely vile little man he is. What a shit party the Labour Party's turned out to be, isn't it? Oh, what a bunch of scumbags. So, yeah, absolutely disgusted at the Labour Party. I come from like my friends in the north of England, come from a working class background. My great-grandfather was a plater on the Clyde. And my grandparents were textile workers and Dax Simpsons. And what a horrible bunch the actual parties actually turned out to be, what the Labour Party's turned out to be. And really, Anne Whitcomb has said that Corbyn is the worst opposition leader ever. And I can't disagree with that. Absolutely vile little man. I don't know if the actual North and Midlands are going to now separate from the Labour Party. I mean, they're obviously working against their the interests of them being Brexiteers. The Labour Party is now a Ramona, a Cook party, in all but name. So I don't think you've got any solace down there from the London Labour Party, and who are basically running the show. So as usual, my friends in the north of England are being ignored by the London Labour Party. Nothing new there then. Oh, fun and games. So Lord Adonis, from the horse's mouth, he's actually said, don't vote Labour if you vote Remain. And there's the Scotsman, which is a very good publication, I have to say, but saying that should Donald Trump visit because he's racist and misogynist, although he's got the highest number of women into work, the highest number of black people into work, the highest number of Hispanic people into work, and yet this guy is a massive racist. I mean, it's just, I think that's the only word they know. Racist, misogynist, just to close down the argument. They don't want to debate on the policy because they know their policies are shit. Oh, absolutely hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Well, anyway, I just thought I'd keep you abreast of what's happening here. Theresa May is lately off ski, and could Boris become there's not really a good bunch of people behind Boris. I don't think Boris is that great, to be honest. I think Jacob Rees-Mogg, out of all of the people in the Conservative Party, Mogg intellectually is probably of the highest calibre, and I think he would probably make the best leader as well. But the rest of them, Javid, Michael Gove, I mean, these guys are not going to inspire any sort of revival in the Conservative Party, I don't think. I think it might be a busty flush, and I think Nigel Farage or Gerard Baton are going to be considerably better leaders than anything that's getting produced just now in any of the Cook Party. I mean, who's going to vote for Chuki? He's a champagne socialist. And the Green Party is full of loonies, just wall-to-wall loon balls. And then you've got the Liberal Democrats, which you can fit most of them into a phone box. And then you've got the Marxists under Corbyn, who are just completely wacky. And then you've got a bunch of Cook Remainers in the Conservative Party who say they want to take us out of the EU, but still genuinely really want to keep us in. They basically lied to us in their manifestos. Well, Subaru the Nazis jumped ship and gone into the Cuckold Party. Oh, fun and games. But my prediction is UKIP and the Brexit Party are going to smash the European elections. If the people in the North and the Midlands who voted Labour wake up and understand that they've been abandoned, UKIP and the Brexit Party are going to smash the elections, the EU elections that May has managed to keep us in. Fun and games, my baby gorillas. Oh, and Carol Benjamin's on his tour. He had a great speeches talking to people in Antifa. Now, let me just explain this. I was at Stand Up to Racism, and which is like Fat Diane Abbott's, the person that was advocating for Chairman Mao, who murdered more people than Adolf Hitler, on British television, saying he did more good than harm. Oh my goodness. Fat Diane is in board with this nebbishy Stand Up to Racism, who are basically just an anti-white organisation who are part of the mass immigration process. But really, the people who are in charge of that are the cucks, the Christian Democrats within the Conservative Party. They're allowing this to happen. So they've allowed this communist Antifa, who are basically terrorists, a terrorist organisation. They use political violence to follow or to further their political ends, which is basically the terminology for terrorism, just like we saw in Sri Lanka, because obviously Islam has got part of Islam is the political system. There's a political system within the Quran, which is basically theocratic fascism. So by blowing up the Christians, which are a religious organisation, they are now, which has been happening since the 7th century, Muslims have been killing Christians. That's why the Crusades started. Is that the Antifa has been allowed to grow as an organisation through the UK under Fat Diane's Hate Not Hope. They're all interlinked. The Stand Up to Racism says you can't be racist to white people. That's probably why a lot of white men are out in the streets. The London mayor, who's a person of African descent, says it's no problem, there's no real homeless problem. Well, when you look at the actual ethnic breakdown, there's a massive amount of British white people who are out in the streets homeless in London. It's not other minorities, it's massively white British who have just been told to get out of their own neighbourhoods through the use of mass immigration. Oh, you couldn't actually write it. This is done for a study. I'll put the study up underneath this broadcast as well. Oh, honestly, unbelievable. So the mayoral candidate for London, who's a black fellow, has said that it doesn't matter about the homeless situation in London. We're not bothered. It's not affecting me, so I'm not bothered about it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, I mean, it's all very, very bad. Everything that's happening here is bad, not in your interest. And this is what we've got to actually look for in the future. We have to look at different people who are going to come in and have a more sober look at what's happening. So Carol Benjamin, the Antifa down in the southwest, were trying to intimidate Carol Benjamin, who was doing one-to-one speeches with people, just constituents, and they were trying to form up and silence them, deplatforming people from actually talking, which is absolutely disgusting. I mean, they're now deplatforming people who are Brexit parties from platforms to actually speak to people. They've just seen, although I mean, I've never met anybody from these parties, never mind spoke to them, Nick Griffin, the English Defence League and Britain First, from the social platforms after deplatforming Infowars. So, there has to be some sort of legislation that the liberals, the authoritarian cucks who are running Silicon Valley, have to be responsible to the individual. Can't be just they can just cancel you. You can't just cancel the postman. If it's privatised post, the postman can't just say, oh, well, just not delivering, if that's the only option you've got. You can't just have that and no protection of the individual. That has to change. So I'm looking forward to Donald Trump coming to the UK. I think that's great. I was really disappointed by what the Scotsman said. They don't speak for all of us. We've been very happy with what Donald Trump's done. And yeah, it's very, very, very concerning that this anti-Trump message, this liberty, anti-freedom message is now permeating, and we're moving into this authoritarian liberal time. I'm a libertarian liberal and not an authoritarian liberal, so there's a big difference in what I represent and what these other characters represent. Okay, boys and girls, that's it. My baby gorillas, catch you.